Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. Okay, moving on now. 6th kyu for our green belt and the first rank certified by Ryukoku, where you can send off to Sensei Nix and Miss Akemi and get your official Ryukoku certification, also from Tamai for the extra fee, if you want to go that route. Anyway, so this is official now. But before we get into the official techniques that I teach, at this level, we also have a few other higher expectations. Going back to some of the earlier stuff that we learned, particularly, for example, mawate, the turning. In the Naha system, turning around is done a specific way, which is slightly different from the Shuri system. For an example of that is the turning as it's done in the Sanchin kata, which is, if I were going this direction and I had done the open hand version, which is the Kempo version that I do, or the Goju closed version, from here we would step across and turn. This is a different way of turning, the Naha system. So again, assuming someone's behind me coming straight at me this way, when I step across, I've gotten offline of where that attack is, and then I turn and I'm in a defensive distance away from them. In the Shorin systems, we more often tend to do what's called a mawate turn, or a pivot to the rear, which is, if I were facing in this direction, an attack is coming at me, I move from the attack, and then I move into the attacker after I've turned to face them. Okay? This is called the mawate turn. We didn't spend a whole lot of time on it early on, but I did teach it. But at this level, I expect a little bit higher capacity. A real simple drill we can do is to simply turn and turn. If I do that, I'm going to end up walking into the wall eventually. So what I prefer to do is what I call the diamond walk. So I've done my turn and block, and always when we step into the new direction, there will be a block of some sort. When I'm doing, for example, say a front kick, I front kick. Now somebody's behind me, I pull away, I turn and low block, and then from there, I would return my hands to wherever they were when I was facing this way. I turn and I face here, do the block, and then return. Let's go in this direction. So I would kick, step, my guard is up, so when I finish the move, I want my guard up in the new direction. I turn low block and return to the guard. You'll most notably see this in Seisan kata, where we've done block, punch, punch, kick, punch. Now that's the turn we do, the mawate. Only we're doing it in shikodachi to go in the new direction. When we do pinyan niran, we've come forward with our 3 high blocks. My back foot turns, steps in the new direction. Now that's my back or my side. My back foot turns, step toward the new direction. So we end up stepping toward the attack, which again is consistent with Shorin-ryu systems. So what I want you to do at this level is start incorporating your own punches, kicks, turns as sort of a drill for yourself, and it becomes like a miniature kata. Here's a simple example, what I was saying about walking the diamond. I step, front stance, low block, do a kick, now I mawate. Return my guard, do a kick, and mawate. Now, if I want to switch and take my diamond in the other direction, I can either just switch feet, and I'm walking the diamond, or after I finish in this direction, now instead of immediately turning, do a second technique. Now I would be turning in the opposite direction. This is just a little way to drill directional awareness and stepping away and into the attack with the Shorin-based mawate turn. Get creative with this. Do it with shikodachi. Do shikodachi, gyakusuki, maigeri. Shikodachi, maigeri. Turn, switch directions. Front stance, cat stance turn. So work on that back turning using different directions. At this level, this begins what I taught as my mantra way back when. You should be able to kick, punch, block in any stance, in any direction, and land again in any stance, in any other direction. And this is a small way to begin drilling using whatever strikes you would like. We can go hammer fist, side kick, and turn. And now I've done the mawate. Again, hammer fist, side kick, and turn. And I'm working the drill. And I can take that in any of the directions that I want. This is the next level of movement that I want you to be able to practice. In sparring, in kumite, I block this guy. Boom, he moved. Now he's over here. But I still want to step into him while he's attacking. And then I step into him. Boom, move. I threw him over here. So I'm turning directions. It's not just a multiple opponent awareness thing, but it is sort of a miniature agility to be able to get in to each stance appropriately in each different direction with a variety of blocks, strikes, kicks, combinations, and so forth. Hopefully that gives you an idea of some things to work on. We will put that next into what I call the dragon circle. If you have enough students, put multiple students around, have them attack. Boom, this guy attacks. Call the next guy's name, number, color, turn. He attacks. Boom, come into the next guy. Then the next guy attacks. Boom, go this way. This little drill gets us ready for that group attack response, sort of spontaneous reaction drill. No, it's not likely that you're going to let yourself, hopefully, be surrounded by a bunch of guys. But in terms of turning, changing directions, and reacting, very, very useful. So that's your drill for the day. The mawate, from and into a variety of stances, and turning with the shorin, turn away from the direction and then into the attack. Next week, we start with the basic strikes and kicks and the double combinations that are required for my 6Q green belts. Until then, hopefully that's a fun little drill you can incorporate with your students. You can set up the pattern for the beginners. You can allow the more advanced students to create their own strikes and patterns, as long as the attention is on the footwork and the stepping and the directions. What happens with the kicks and punches, they can choose, but help them learn the proper application of the turning movements. Thanks for joining, and until next week, as always, keep practicing. Oh, and like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff.